my setup. It's about a 15-gallon pan. I'd say it's 3 foot by 2 foot by 6 inches deep. I made this pot here so so you're not just dumping cold water and changing the temperature. As you can see, it's rolling boil right now. So it's got a little hole up here, so it's just sitting there. The water can the sap can kind of get warm. And as I dump it in, it flows in slowly so it doesn't shock it and bring the temperature down abruptly. Now this is pretty full, but I've been trying to empty out this barrel so I can go collect. So we're gonna give it a pan of this. As you can see, we're getting down to some of the stuff that really needs to be filtered. But you dump it right in like this. And then it slowly feeds it so the temperature doesn't drop real fast. I keep the wood stove open so it's running as hot as it can be all the time. I set my alarm at night every 3 hours and come out and stoke it up and make sure that there's plenty of sap in the pan, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty much like babysitting, just you got to be there and work it. So this runs continuously the whole time we're getting sap. And I can run about 100 gallons in a 24-hour period.
And then how do you know when you've got it down to a point where you want to pull it and put it on the stove top?
Well, you can really pull it anytime. Anytime. What I usually do is let the pan get as low as I think it can. Obviously, it can't. You don't want to let it get so low that it flashes, meaning it bubbles up over. But you can I take a cannon pot and scoop it out of here and into the cannon pot, and you can take some of it anytime you want. Take a whole pot full in and put it on top of the stove, and then just add more to it. But what I usually do is I wait for it to burn down pretty good, and then when I figure I got enough in there, somewhere between 130 and 160 gallons gone through it. That'll give me between 3 and 4 gallons of syrup. That's about all I can handle with my pot. So
Yeah, but how do you know that you've boiled it down enough so that you can just do the finishing on the stove? Like, you're not in there boiling for hours and hours.
It doesn't take that long to get that water out of it. It really doesn't. It takes a little bit of time to get the last little bit out. Between 212 is boiling and 219 is syrup. That takes some time to get between 212 and 219. It takes a little bit of time there because you're getting the final bits of water out and getting right down to the syrup part of it. I try and just run, like I said, between 130 and 160 gallons through this, and then I burn it down as far as I can, and I load it into my pot. And if there's more in there that I can't put in the pot, I put it in one of these maple syrup pails, and then I just add that as we go. But that's the gist of it. It's not rocket science, but you really want to strive for 219 or 7 degrees above boiling in your part of the country. Here it's 212, so that brings us to 219, and I really keep an eye on it and make sure it's 219 before I take it off, because it's very easy to get tricked into believing 218 is 219, and it really isn't as far as the syrup goes. You want your syrup to be not watery, but you don't want it to be so boiled down that it turns to sugar instantly.
Right.
Big chunks of sugar in the bottom of your jars.
Yeah.
But you see that takes out the dirt and the bugs and the pieces of bark and stuff. But if you think about it, you're boiling this whole mixture, so anything that's in there that's biological is cooked.
Yeah.
So there's nothing in there that can hurt you. She's boiling good right now. She's humping.
So this is our first run. We boiled down how many gallons, hon?
135-ish.
135-ish gallons of sap. And we got 3 gallons and a quart. Yeah, so we got 3 1/4 gallons syrup. And last night it turned off really cold, so the sap's not running this morning, which is fine because we've got, I don't know how much sap do we
100 gallons.
So we collected 100 gallons yesterday, so that'll give us another couple gallons of syrup. So our goal is usually 10 gallons of syrup. So
We're better than halfway.
yeah, yep.